Support local. Meet the people that are driving the businesses that are supporting our local economy. These are the businesses you want to work with. Your lens into Calgary's thriving business scene.
Brett Butler, welcome to the Local Lens. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I'm super excited to talk with you about the Aaron Machine Shop. You guys have been a pillar in Calgary for a long time. So
yeah, almost 30 years now.
Story. How long?
Almost 30 years.
30 years. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Tell me, before we get into it, tell me a little bit about Aaron Machine Shop. What is it that you guys do?
Sure. Yeah, it's hard to describe without going into a lot of details that the average person doesn't know about or doesn't want to know about. But we're really specialists in machining. We do CNC machining. We do manual machining. We do metal processing, welding and fabrication, repair service as well. So a lot of what we do is usually surrounded around metal, and essentially we get raw materials made out of metal, a lot of aluminum, steel, stainless steel, tool steels, bronze, copper, brass, and we machine it to whatever specifications our customer needs. And the way that gets done is they send us blueprints or engineered drawings. We price it for them and give them a delivery timeline. They tell us, yes, go ahead, or no, go away. And then we essentially take work that way, put it in our schedule and get it done. Yeah, amazing. So a lot of different stuff, a lot of different industries that we cover. I think one thing that makes us unique is all the different capabilities that we have. Typically, you'll find a machine shop that only does manual machining, or maybe they only do CNC machining, but they don't do the welding and fabrication, the repair side, the processing. And they just don't have the breadth of capabilities that we have for our customers.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the start. It's the mid 90s, and Aaron Machine Shop is getting off the ground. Like, how did it get started?
Yeah, so the founder, Mohammed Kudmani, he started it in 1996, and he really built it up through servicing a lot of the manufacturing or production facilities in and around Calgary. So anything with rotating equipment, assembly lines, production lines, just think of really anything that's moving. Those parts, they wear out, they break down, and they need to be repaired. And a lot of that work is immediate. You know, if you have a group of people standing there or an assembly line and you've got all these workers and you have a shaft that breaks down, you have to repair that quickly because every minute that everyone's standing still costs money. So we really built the business up by servicing those customers, making sure that they were never down, and then we just continued to sell them on other capabilities and opportunities we had for them. But yeah, it was quite honestly, it was a lot of grunt work, a lot of random calls at hours in the middle of the night. Yeah, just basically sheer hard work building the business from the mid 90s by Mohammed. Yeah, he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, well, and you know what I know from my previous life, I was in engineering and like mechanical engineering, designing stuff, and the best machine shops, we'd send a drawing and they'd come back and be like, yeah, but that's going to cost you way too much the way you did it. If you change this, you'll save a lot of money, right? Like, you don't just build it, you problem solve, and you kind of like...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because all our customers come from all different walks of life, and a lot of them are engineers, and what makes sense to them and when they're designing it might make sense, but they don't understand, or they have little experience in the manufacturing side. So there we can come in and say, like, are these critical features in this component you're making? Do they need to have tolerances this tight, or can you change this one slightly? It's gonna, like you said, greatly reduce the cost of making that part. So we do a lot of that. We've got a design team here, and most of our divisional managers have really good experience with design as well. It just goes hand in hand with the manufacturing side. You can't really have one without the other.
right? So you actually have designers in-house. So I come to you with an idea and I want this built, but I don't have like an engineered drawing. You guys can produce it. And
Absolutely. Yeah. It's something we added on a couple of years ago. And it was just because, quite honestly, through the pandemic, a lot of the facilities in and around Calgary couldn't get components that they'd been ordering from their OEMs routinely. Like lead times were 8, 10, 12, 6 months kind of thing. So we had to reverse engineer a lot of existing components. And to do that properly, you need someone who can measure it properly, tolerance it properly, understand the application, and then getting an actual engineered drawing that can be approved by the customer. So we just saw a huge demand for that, and we've been leaning into it more and more. We started with one designer, and it's built up. And yeah, we help with prototyping as well. Like that's a lot of people or companies have ideas or if something might work, and that we can work with them on the entire process from designing it. And we always design it with the idea of manufacturing it in mind, which is an advantage to customers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know, clients aren't buying a part, they're buying a solution to a problem.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah. They're like, I don't care how you make it or what happens, just like give me my part. I want it as cheap as I can. And obviously make sure it hits the quality standards and the specs, but other than that, they don't really care. Yeah.
I just want the thing to turn on when I push the button.
Yeah.
That's is really what they want. Right?
Everyone's got their expertise, and we're not expertise in a lot of areas, but we are expertise in machining and manufacturing. So that's what we try to provide.
Gotcha. So would you say that's your guys' biggest differentiator with other machine shops here in town?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's the breadth of capabilities that we have. Some of the best projects that we do for our customers are ones that hit 3 or 4 different divisions, and it makes it easy for our customers. They don't want to deal with a lot of different suppliers. They don't want to deal with different timelines, different quality. They want someone to give them a full solution. The flip side of that is it's difficult running a machine shop that does so many different things. Like on the skilled labor side, you really need to have different pockets of skilled labor. We're constantly doing training, and even things like updating processes, making sure those work for the different capabilities. It takes a lot of work. It's not easy.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
So last question for you. We're just kind of getting into the new year here. What's coming up for Aaron Machine Shop?
Good question. We just did an expansion last year, so where everyone's kind of like, it's a bit of a hangover from that. So I think this year it's really going to be process related. Like we've got some refining to do on our programming process, some refining to do on our quality control process. Those are great things to tackle, especially after we have grown. And so some of our processes need to be tweaked just to reflect the new business that we have. And then also some things as we've grown, we've seen break down because it's harder to manage with more people. So yeah, I think the next 6 to 12 months is going to be a good time to refine processes. So okay. I know pretty boring, but those things they can have the greatest impact, I think, on any business, especially your machine shop. So
yeah, the more capabilities you have, the more sophisticated you get, the more that has to flow, right? It has to be really nice. Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Brett, for coming on the show. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, they can just email me, brett@aaronmachineshop.com, and I'm always happy to field questions and help out where we can.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great chatting, Adam.
Thanks for joining us on The Local Lens. Stay connected with Calgary's inspiring businesses and keep supporting the heart of our local economy. Your lens into Calgary's thriving business scene.